works on my radio dial. Big dog's taking care of business for a while. If you're listening to another station I don't understand, 'cause nobody does it like Thom Abraham.
Give us a call, Steve.
He's a northern-bred, southern-fed, slick-talking guy. Listeners in his posse are the junkyard dogs. The SEC from Tennessee to calling them hogs. From Gainesville up to Lexington to the Titan Tiger Land, nobody does it like Thom Abraham.
I guess I'm on here. Am I on? Can somebody respond?
Football Friday. And as always, we serenade you with football music throughout the show. Oh, guitar. That's more George Benson than Dickie Betts, I can tell you. By the way, that's London Philharmonic that did that. You're wondering about that. Look, we're going to serenade you all show long with football music because no matter what the time of year is, it's Football Friday. And since it's spring, by the way, and we have various spring leagues going on, we thought we'd check in on them today and how they are doing in a segment that I'm going to call The Good, The Bad, and The Ugly. I wish I had the theme music for that. You know, I wish I had the theme music for the good, the bad, and the ugly. That's good production right there. That's a guy that's on top of it right there. That's not me. Look, Mom, no hands. Those of you that are watching WZZ on TV, that's not me. That's coming out of the little guy in the glass room. You know, I could do that. That could be a regular segment. Good, the bad, and the ugly. Could do a good, the bad, and the ugly like once a week. All right, we also have a Friday trifecta for you today with an opportunity to earn your way onto the North Alabama Mortgage Foursome at our WZZN Charity Golf Classic at Cherokee Ridge a week from Monday. That's right. North Alabama Mortgage is sponsoring a foursome of listeners. So you're going to have an opportunity to win that foursome or win a spot on that foursome. This is a tremendous event. The entire winning team, each member of the winning team wins a full family membership for 1 year at Cherokee Ridge. I was saying 6 months. It's 1 full year of a family membership. It's like a $4,000 value at Cherokee Ridge. So that's what's on the line. Great trophies, first, second, and third prizes for first, second, and third as well. Everybody that shows up that playing in the tournament receives a very nice gift at registration, which will begin, we tell people 7 o'clock, 7:30, really, about 7:30 or so. Shaggy's will be providing some breakfast biscuits for you as well. Breakfast burritos. We'll have those from Shaggy's. And then afterwards, Bubby's Diner providing our meal for lunch as we do our awards, and we're going to have all kinds of fun and raise money for the Make-A-Wish Foundation. So this is your opportunity to get in. It's a $200 a man tournament. This isn't some chintzy $30 you get to come and play. It's not like my church event. $20 to play in our church event. Okay, all right. I mean, that's fine. This is a $200. Okay, this is a big time event here. So here's the deal. This one here, I have 3 picks for you. Now, just pay attention. I've got 3 picks for you, including the Kentucky Derby. And for the Derby, all you are doing is picking a horse to show, meaning that if the horse finishes first, second, or third, win, place, or show. I have to explain this because when I sent this information over to Captain Cool for him to put it up on the social media, I'm embarrassed to say Captain Cool didn't know what it meant to show in a horse. He thought it was a horse show. So to show means to come in third. Your horse has to come in third or better. Win, place, or show. You're putting your horse in there to show or better. Okay, so there's 21 horses in the race. I have them all. I have the odds for all of the horses in front of me, so I'm going to help you out the best I can. All right? So here's the kicker. If you hit the first two elements of the trifecta, and then your horse comes in first, second, or third, then we're going to go down the list based on the longest shots. So if you want to take the favorite at 3-1 or the second favorite at 5-2, 5-2, would that be the second? That would be the favorite. Anyway, if you want to take one of the favorites, yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Your horses, there's a good chance that your horse will come in first, second, or third. But the reality is that if you have a horse that's 10-1, 15-1, 20-1, you have a better chance of getting in, but you might not win. You might not get the horse in there. So it's a dicey game that you're playing there. Okay? And if we have only one winner, you get the whole foursome. All right? If we have 4 winners, you each get a spot. If we have 2 winners, you each get 2. You understand? Okay? We'll make it work. And now you say, well, wait a minute, Doug, I don't play golf. And I can't take the day off to go play in your golf tournament. So, okay, fine. We got dinner and a ball game for you. All right? So we always got dinner and a ball game for you if you don't play golf. All right, here are the selections. We're going to start in Los Angeles, where the Atlanta Braves are in L.A. for 3 with the Dodgers.
I don't wish that girl any bad luck, but I hope she gets hit with a car.
Tommy Lasorda. Who's going to win the series? It's a 3-game series. Okay? So that's your pick there. Braves or Dodgers. Who's going to win the series? All right. Our second pick. Tomorrow night, we have a Game 7. Bruins or Maple Leafs? Maple Leafs shut out the Bruins 2-0 last night. Bruins were up 3-1 in the series. The Maple Leafs won Game 5 in Boston. Then they won Game 6 at home. Now they go back to Boston for Game 7 tomorrow night. Bruins or Leafs tomorrow night. And then finally, give me your horse.
Hello, I'm Mr. Ed. A horse is a horse, of course, and no one can talk to a horse, of course.
Nobody knows that show. I watched that show as a little boy. Nobody knows that show. All right, to help you with the Derby, in a few minutes, Brian Monzo from BetRivers.com. He produces several shows there. He is a Derby expert. He also produces the Mike Francesa show, if those of you know who Mike Francesa is from Mike and the Mad Dog. I've known Brian for years. He's coming up. Brian is also a big Pucks guy, too. He's a Rangers guy, so I may have to ask him for a pick on a hockey game as well. And on the Preds tonight against Vancouver, do they send it back to Vancouver for a Game 7? Top of the 1, we'll talk with Zach Keilman to get an update on the UFL at the halfway point of the season. The Stallions are 5-0. A couple of teams are 4-1. League's a little top-heavy right now. And we'll get his thoughts on the debacle that is the Arena Football League. More on that in a moment. You guys know we talked about the AFL coming back. These guys bought the rights to the name, the Arena Football League, and they brought these teams back and yada, yada, yada. They started play last week. It is an absolute bleep show. We'll talk to Zach about that. Phone lines are open at 256-576-4977. That's the way you get in on the trifecta, or you can text the show. Go ahead and text us at 732-982-7469. That's 7329TA show. My X feed is at Tom Abraham Show. The station's feed is at 97.7 ESPN. Your Facebook is at 97.7 ESPN. You get a link there to our YouTube channel, WZZN TV. And if you go to 97.7ESPN.com, you get links to all of that stuff. You can listen live on your desktop while you're at it. Get the app, where you can find a link to our alternate streaming channels for more great programming. 4 more great channels on the app. And snag Talk Radio WZZN's app for more sports programming and news programming. You can also hear Talk Radio at 97.7-2 over the air with a digital radio. Most cars have them now. If not, just have the app, and then you can do it. Talk Radio is your home for the Trash Pandas all season long. That's not Zone 2. This is 97.7-2, which is an over-the-air signal. For those of you watching on WZZN TV, I just decided to throw some awards up on the counter today. There's one of each kind up here. Show awards. I'll explain those if Grizz wants me to explain them. Then I'll explain them. What a game in Philadelphia last night. I am all in on this Knicks team now. Or should I call them the Villanova Knicks? Now they get Indiana, who blew out Milwaukee. By the way, Steve Merrill last night, Steve Merrill said, take the Knicks plus 3.5. You won't need the points. And he said, take Indiana minus 8.5. The line dropped to 5.5 when word came out that they were going to get one of their stars. Milwaukee was getting one of their big guys back. Didn't matter. Indiana just blew them out of the building. Thoroughly enjoyed Knicks and Sixers last night. Thoroughly hated the Bruins getting shut out by the Maple Leafs 2-0. All right, over there in a little glass room with the slanted ceiling, playing the Platters That Matter and the Stacks of Wax and taking your calls to get you on the air for this Friday trifecta. Living large and in charge on a Friday, no less, a DJ Grizzy Grizz.
Who in the blue hell are you?
I'm the producer of the show. If I didn't step up, you're nowhere. I put the thing together on a poly.
Brilliant!
I've got $100 smoking in my billfold. I know I ought to save it, but it's burning a hole right through my pocket and into my skin. Come Monday morning, I'll be broke again. It's finally Friday, I'm free again. I got my motor running for a wild weekend. It's finally Friday, I'm out of control. Forget the working blues and let the good time roll.
Down goes Grissom.
Someone call someone because there's a cleanup on aisle 3 as a man is down.
It's like taking poison, like rat poison.
It's not St. Patty's Day, so that's a different day entirely.
Hey, Grizzalicious, how you doing today?
Oh, I'm doing just fine. Yeah, no, it's a great Friday, beautiful day. Yeah, and,
It is.
Yeah, it was
Is
a
it a
little
beautiful
rainy.
day?
It
It
was
was
a little
raining,
rainy.
it was
this
a little
morning.
rainy.
Well, I don't have windows, so when I came in, it was the sun was coming out after it had just not really poured, just kind of rained all morning.
Yeah.
And so, right when I came
It's
in,
not.
it was
It's
nice.
not so much
So,
raining now. It's breezy.
Tell me if it's nice.
Well, it's not nice. I mean, it's cloudy and breezy
It
and
feels
not
great
warm.
in the office when you keep the thermostat at a certain temperature. That's for sure.
Is it working? Everything
Yes,
working there
everything's
okay now?
Everything's been working. Everything
We got that.
works.
So we have
We had a
in
PSA
front of
announcement
us.
for it.
We have in front of us some awards,
Yeah.
show awards.
Quite beautiful awards, yeah.
Yes,
that
there
some
are some
Abbeys?
beautiful awards.
that
There
an Abbey?
are. That's an Abbey. There's a story behind every one of these. Would you
Yeah.
like to hear the story behind each one of these?
Well, I could say yes or no, but I feel like I'm going to get one anyway.
Well, I would, if you told me, no, nobody cares about your awards, then I would have to think about it. But if you
No,
said,
Tom,
yeah,
nobody
I mean-
cares about your awards.
Or you might say, no, but
Rewards.
you know what, Tom? We'd like to hear the stories because this is always interesting
Yes, no, we
stuff.
love
You know what I
hearing-
mean?
yeah.
Okay, all right, here's a story. This one here, the one to the far right here,
Yeah.
that's a Beasley Broadcasting award for excellence and in best show and all that
Congrats.
stuff.
Best
Yeah,
in
thank you.
show.
The story behind this is I won this one in what did I win? Oh gosh, it's heavy. Okay, I won this one in. Yes, it's like marble. I mean, it's really. I mean, this I could hurt somebody with. It's just like my protection here in the studio. All right, so I won this one in 2002. Now here's the dirty little story behind that one right there. Man, that's heavy. The deal with that is, and Beasley has about 100 radio stations around the country, and this was my show was voted the best sports station. So here's the deal. I won it in 2002, I won it again in 2003. I announced in 2003 that I was leaving the station to come to Alabama, okay? When I made that announcement, it was before the dinner, which was at George Beasley's house. He is the founder of Beasley. He's dead now, but he was the founder of Beasley, big, beautiful mansion in Naples, Florida. So I left before the dinner, and they refused to send me the award because I announced I was leaving after I won it and before I actually got the award. They're like, if you're not coming to Mr. Beasley's house, we're not going to give it to you. I'm like, I can't. I got to be at the new station.
I can't be there. They're going to do anything for you. They're going to give it to you.
Yeah, so that was that. All right, so this is an Abby, okay? This is for best show in large market in Alabama.
I see
only,
6
okay?
of them every morning.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. I only entered once. Okay,
and you
I've
won?
only been entered. I entered one.
Like
I entered one time
for me.
and won.
If I win, I'm out.
Well, no. Here's the funny story behind
if I lose,
it.
I'm out.
Here's the funny story behind the Abbey.
Yeah.
Only one time I entered, and we won best show. So the next year, okay, and the producer does the entry for that usually.
Yeah.
I've never done any of the entries for any of this stuff. A producer will do an entry and submit your show. So my producer at the time was Jason Marks. He did the entry. We won the Abbey best show. Okay. So the next year for the thing, I didn't win. And I was I was a little surprised because the show wins. Okay. I mean, if it's in, it wins. You know what I mean? It's that kind of a deal. So I said, and Archie Shea was the producer of the show. And he was also co-hosting the morning show with Cole Kublik. Okay, over there on on the Ump. I'm just gonna say it because it doesn't really matter anymore. So anyway, so I said to Archie afterwards, after they won, congratulations on you guys winning the award for best show. I said, what did you submit for my show?
Yeah.
It got real quiet. Then he says, he goes, I actually didn't send yours in. I said, what? He said, I thought it would be better for the station if we had multiple shows that won. Because I didn't send yours in so that we could win.
They just picked you.
So that Cole could win because I didn't send I didn't send your entry in. I said, you got to be kidding me. I said, it's a hollow victory is what it is. It's a hollow victory. All right. I've never entered for, play-by-play or they have different categories and different things like that. It was just one time. We went in one time for best show, and won the thing. And I was like, that's it. That's fine. That's all I need to know.
Yeah, you win one time, you walk out.
Didn't enter it anymore. Yeah, I dropped the mic, and it was it. Now this one's a nice one. This is from Cumulus. That's the biggest radio operator in the world, in the country. And they have about 1,500 radio stations around the country. And so that one there, I got in, 2005, 2006, something like that. And then this one is one of 4, the final one here, which is the bigger one. That is a CD, for those of you that don't watch it. It's a CD in a shadow box. That is the one, I got to be honest with you, I'm most proud of, because that is a Curb Records Best in Nashville Award. And the way they grade, I won 4 of these, 2 for midday and 2 for afternoon drive. And the way this is judged, first things first, they contact you and ask for a submission. All right, so first you have to have your show noticed. It's not like, I'm going to sign up for it and send in a check. You have to have your show noticed. So the show gets noticed. Then they ask you. Secondly, this is not sports only. This is everything. Like the one I won for. Yeah, the one I won for afternoon drive, the nominees were me, George Plaster, who had an award-winning afternoon drive show there, Dave Ramsey, and Phil Valentine. That was the afternoon drive one. And here's the best part about these. What they do is they take your submission and they send it to another market. And in our case, it was like someplace in Arizona or something like that. Yeah. This way, there's no local bias. The fact that George Plaster had the highest rated sports show in Nashville didn't matter. They sent the 4 submissions, Ramsey, Phil Valentine, me, Plaster. They sent that was the last year. That's the one I remember, the last one. They send those to another market, and then they have people in that market grade your shows. All right, won that thing 4 times. and got in trouble because here's what happened.
Surprised.
Because I'm a smart ass. I had to say something smart at the awards thing, right?
Yeah, of course.
And by the way, it's Curb Records, it's Nashville.
Yeah.
The people, I mean, the presenter, the last one I got, the presenter was Rascal Flatts. I mean, so you know what I mean?
Oh, pretty cool, yeah.
Yeah, we're not screwing around here. Big and Rich were presenters one year. Yeah, I mean, so it's big time people like that. So here's the deal. The first two I won were afternoon drive. And then Cumulus decided to flip the radio station at 106.7 The Fan. They decided to flip that to a music station, and I moved across the street to WNSR. The second two I won were midday, okay, at WNSR. So when I won the third one, which was the first one in midday, when I got up on the stage, I said at first I would like to thank Cumulus for letting me go and allowing me to win in another day part and beat... the
ultimate petty.
I said
So
something
the
like
ultimate
after,
petty. So just
I was like after beating their shows in afternoon drive. Now I got to beat their shows in midday.
It's like suck it.
I mean, it wasn't. I mean, I was funny. Everybody laughed except for the Cumulus table.
Yeah, of course.
And so the market manager there was from Cumulus, and they had the national market manager there, and he said, Mr. Abraham, he says, you never want to burn a bridge. He says, you'll never work for this company again. That's what he told me. Yeah. A year later, they hired me. And, I was back on the air with them. But
he was wrong.
I was like, I did not. So I was not mean. I just said thank you to Cumulus for allowing me to win in another day part. So anyway, that's the story behind those. Okay. All right. Let me get Natty Danny in here. Natty Danny, welcome to the show. How are you?
Just got back from Nashville. We did a little concert last night and had a great time.
Who'd you see?
Leonard and Friends.
Don't know.
The guy does cover. I told you about it. He does Chicago, Steely Dan.
Yeah, right.
Earth, Wind and Fire. Yeah,
Cool.
It's pretty good stuff. Anyway, we did that. But I wanted to touch on a couple things. Your question. Well, one statement you mentioned about the horse race. It's Mr. Ed, and his sidekick was Wilbur.
Wilbur, but you're older than me, so you're one of the few people that will know who that was.
Well, there's a lot of people like us that were still around. Okay,
Okay.
Thoughts and prayers to one of my real good football friends passed away this morning. So.
Oh, that's sad.
Yeah,
Sorry for your loss.
it makes you feel kind of crappy, but you know what? It's all good.
Yeah.
So I will advance to the trifecta. I'm going to make it quick because Grumpy likes it that way, and that's what we're going to do.
Braves or Dodgers, 3 games in L.A.?
Well, I can't do the Braves just like I can't do Bama. I'll do Dodgers.
I don't wish that girl any bad luck, but I hope she gets hit with a car.
By the way, your Tigers and my Yankees getting together here for a few.
You're
that's
done.
really
You're
nice. Yeah.
You're done.
Well, I don't know. I mean, you guys are playing a lot better. That's certainly nice. Sidebar, Grizz, that's perfect. He knows what I'm talking about.
Okay, good.
Grizz,
There you go.
That's perfect. I just wanted to tell him that. All right. Bruins or Leafs, Game 7 tomorrow night. These are. I just want to explain to you. These are NHL playoff teams. These are teams that after the entire season get to go on and play in the playoffs. I know it's something you're not real familiar with in the last 10 years, but these are teams that get to continue to play later. The Red Wings aren't involved. I understand that, but Bruins or Maple Leafs to win Game 7 tomorrow night.
In a sidebar to that, when I was in Nashville, they had a banner that said 25 years of Predators, but there was nothing mentioned about a Stanley Cup. So, okay, so let's talk about. Oh yeah, you know what, Tom? I got to go. I want you to suffer. I'm going to go Maple Leafs. I got to go Maple Leafs.
So you'll take the Leafs there, and give me a horse to show at least in the show or better in the Kentucky Derby.
Well, if you don't mind, because I'm not going to pick the favorite. I'm gonna go with what you said.
Give me a number that you like, and I'll tell you.
All right, I like 10-1.
All right, 10-1. You got Just a Touch is 10-1. Forever Young is 10-1, and that's it for the 10-1. So Just a Touch or Forever Young.
You know what? I always like to get touched up. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
That's you and our lingo, touch up. So, I like the touch. I want to be touched up a little bit. I'll do the touch.
Just a touch. All right, we got you in at 10-1. All right.
All right, my man. All right, Grumpy, I hope I did well. See you later.
10-1 is the odds there. And we're using today's odds, by the way. We're going to use today's odds. By the way, do me a favor, Grizz. Text Monzo and just tell him we're 1 minute behind because I want to get Johnny in a cell in here so he doesn't have to sit through the interview. Johnny on a cell. Johnny, welcome in. How are you?
Great, man. I'll be quick.
All right, so
Give me the
Braves.
Bravos.
Hey, let me give you. Got to give you a little of that. Who do you want? The Leafs?
No, the Bruins.
Oh,
Give me
that's
home
what I'm
ice,
talking
man.
about. Yeah, take the home ice. Take the Braves, which are not do not have home ice in that series. All right, give me a horse.
They got better arms.
They
and
do.
then I want fierceness.
Fierceness. All right, you got fierceness. One of the favorites. All right, we got you in. 5-2. Yep. All right, appreciate you. All right, all your horses got to do is come in the top three. All right, let's get a break. When we come back, Brian Monzo joins us. He is with BetRivers.com and a horse racing expert. Next on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone. Owen Home Appliance Center features the biggest names in home appliances like Viking, Whirlpool, Maytag, KitchenAid, GE, and Frigidaire. But they also have great brands that you may not know, like Mela, Forno, Z-Line, Invisicook, and Beko. But no matter what, they all get delivered the day you buy, and they service everything they sell. And at the Lacey Spring Showroom, just 8 miles south of the river on 231, you'll find a totally interactive showroom where you can hear the dishwashers wash, and the freezer's free, and see the cookies get baked in the double ovens. Owen Home Appliance Center will even wash and dry a load of clothes for you so that you can see how great the products are. And they have ice machines making all kinds of ice, cubed, nugget, and top hat. How is that for variety? Owen Home Appliance Center believes in community involvement as well, sponsoring youth teams, race cars, and an annual Easter egg hunt. Quality products, quality pricing, quality service is the name of the game for Owen Home Appliance Center. Find them in Somerville and Lacey Springs and online at owenappliance.com.
Hi, my name is Dan Aldridge. I'm here to let you know about the Aldridge Law Firm and the soon-to-be-announced Legal Town Center. I've been practicing law in Alabama since 1984, and I also practice in Tennessee. And I'm from North Alabama, and I'm here to represent you and take care of your legal needs. For many of us, hiring an attorney is not high on the priority list, and maybe a little scary. But it's something that we all need at some point. So by all means, do your homework. And if you need representation for car accident, wrongful death, medical malpractice, nursing home abuse, or estate planning, or any other matter, just give us a call at 256-534-3188. And you can email me at Dan, that is Dan at danaldridgelaw.com. Dan at danaldridgelaw.com. God bless America.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
Specializing in simple and affordable rentals, McCurry Van and Car Rental can make sure you have just the right vehicle for your next family vacation, weekend getaway, or if you just need transportation while your vehicle is being repaired. McCurry carries Ford Transit vans and Mercedes Sprinter vans, trucks and work vans, and more. And they offer discounted rental rates for long-term rentals. Now with 4 locations: Athens, Muscle Shoals, Keilman, and Huntsville. Log on McCurryRentals.com to make your reservation now. That's McCurryRentals.com.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies candidates with the right skills, sends you great matches, then you can easily invite them to apply. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. See for yourself. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/free to try ZipRecruiter for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Guntersville, buckle up. We're 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
It has happened. 171.294 miles an hour.
You wake up late for school, man, you don't want to go. You ask your mom, please, but she still says no. You missed 2 classes and no homework.
Atlanta Braves.
Swung on, belted, deep right field, gone! Home run, Michael Harris.
Tonight, the battle of National League rivals doesn't get much bigger as the Braves roll into L.A. to take on Freddie Freeman and the Dodgers. Braves Radio's on the air at 8:55 Eastern, 7:55 Central on the Braves Radio Network.
We cover all the SEC schools, including Western Union and Venmo.
I want that money!
You know, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Segment of the Tom Abraham Show is brought to you by the fine folks at North Alabama Mortgage. Whether you're listening in Tennessee, Alabama, or Florida, average home equity is at an all-time high, and so is the average consumer debt, though. So this is the time to refinance, pull that money out of the house, and then you can use your equity to pay off other high consumer debt stuff, and then refinance again when the rate drops. I mean, it's that simple. And look, get pre-approved now and make that home purchase, because when these rates drop, the house prices are going to go up. So you buy now, you get the best price, then you refi when the rates come down. Same if you're looking to do home improvements or maybe buy a place down at the beach or something like that. It's all at NorthAlabamaMortgage.com. They'll walk you through the whole program, and we thank them for putting up their group in the Make-A-Wish Foundation Charity Golf Tournament a week from Monday. That's what you're playing for in today's Friday Trifecta. Now, one of the elements of the Friday Trifecta is we're just asking you to pick a horse to show, win, place, or show. It's good, a third, second. But here's the kicker. If we have multiple winners, we're going to go to the longest shot and work our way up the board in terms of, so in other words, if Wolverine Dance 10-1 horse comes in, all right, and the only other one is the 5-2 horse of Johnny on a Cell, and they both hit the first two elements of the trifecta, Wolverine Dan wins because he had a 10-1 horse. You understand? Okay, I hope you guys understand that. All right, now to help us with the race itself is Brian Monzo from BetRivers.com. He does a tremendous job there. He produces a bunch of shows there, and he is a horse racing savant. So he joins us now on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. Brian, welcome to the show. How are you, my friend?
I mean, savant's a little strong, but I am a fan of the sport. I appreciate that.
Well, you're also a fan. Let's get this out of the way first, because you're a fan of the hockey too, and your Rangers. Your Rangers are outstanding. I mean, they did a tremendous job. So one of the elements of the trifecta that our listeners are picking today is tomorrow night's Game 7 in Boston between the Bruins and the Leafs after Boston's dropped the last two games now. So if you want to give them a tip on that, who do you like, Boston or the Leafs in Boston tomorrow night, Game 7?
I think Toronto's a better team despite whatever's going on with Austin Matthews. So the goaltending, I think, is stronger with Toronto. They have a relentless amount of goal scoring. And even in a game last night where it was low scoring, they were able to find a way. So all the controversy up there in Toronto and Toronto Maple Leaf fans basically ready to jump off a building, I think should feel confident going into tomorrow night. It's going to be a great game. I was talking to someone last night. Saturday is a hell of a day because you almost had a Knicks Sixers Game 7. You got the Derby. You have Game 7 with the Bruins and the Leafs. It's just a great time in sports.
Yeah, I don't understand how the Leafs are better without Matthews. I mean, that basically is what's happening. The whole rest of the team is picking it up. Without Matthews, they have played better. And so I'm hoping Matthews plays on Saturday night because I am a huge Bruins fan going way back. But I'll tell you what, listen, I'm from upstate. So if I'm from upstate New York, so I can do this. I can be a Bruins fan and a Knicks fan and a Yankees fan. So it's like people are like, what's wrong with you? How are you not a Ranger fan? I said, well, I'm a Bruins fan because I was looking for Italians back in 1970 that were playing hockey when I was 9 years old, and we found Phil Esposito. So they became my team, and my cousin took Tony Esposito in the Blackhawks, and that's how we became fans. But I couldn't take another game of Knicks Sixers. I was so glad that ended last night. I mean, my heart could not take another one of those games. It was nuts. My NBA guy in California was texting me all throughout the game. He's like, "Are you okay? You all right?" I'm like, man, that was amazing.
Yeah, that game, I admittedly, like the NBA is like third or fourth on my depth chart just between time but I watched that entire game and man, it was exciting. It reminded me, I'll tell you, Josh Hart reminds me of a better version of Charles Oakley. That's where I compared him to. It's just a remarkable performance by that.
Not quite as beefy, but yeah, I mean, just clutch and so I'm like you. I mean, I don't watch it during the season. I'll be honest with you. I don't have time to watch it during the season. There's too much other stuff, but I like it now, and I like it when my team is good. So, and I think they're going to beat Indiana in 5. So I think Boston, anything New York, Boston's always good. So I think that's what we're going to get is New York, Boston, the Eastern Conference Final. But that's a whole other story. Yeah. All right. So the horse racing deal. I am shocked. I told the listeners this the other day. And I asked them if they wanted a segment on the Derby, and several of them said yes. I grew up on a small horse farm in upstate New York by Finger Lakes Racetrack in the Finger Lakes. So that's where I'm from and been around horses and everything. I was almost an investor in a horse at one time. Thankfully, I didn't do it because the horse ended up being a dog. But having said that, I am stunned that there's still 14 million people watching the Derby. I mean, there's more people watch the Derby than watch the NBA Final, the NHL Stanley Cup Final, and the World Series combined that watch the Derby. Does it surprise you at all how this resonates? So all these years, we still got 14, 15 million people tuning in for the Kentucky Derby.
I think that in this country, people will do anything to have a party and hang out with their friends. So yes, there's the Super Bowl, but there's also something like the Kentucky Derby where you can get together, you can wear funny outfits, you can put on a hat, you can have a mint julep, you can bet a couple bucks on a race. And, from a gambling standpoint, what makes the Kentucky Derby great as opposed to any other race, the pools are so swamped with blind money of people who have no idea what they're doing outside of betting a name, betting a number, that you can bet very little money and make a lot. And that's why the Derby is a big draw from a gambling standpoint. I hate this expression. I think it's used too much. The Kentucky Derby is a slice of Americana. It's just what it is. People love it. People love wearing hats. People love having a couple of alcoholic beverages on a Saturday. Spring's in the air. So it doesn't surprise me. And I'm glad to see that. And you got to remember, during the pandemic, horse racing was one of the sports that was still active. So I think it gained some traction coming out of that. So, and the Derby's the Derby. It's always going to be attractive. The field is I think, B+ this year, but it makes it challenging, and it makes it, you could put a 50-cent trifecta and walk away with over $1,000, and I think that's why people love the Derby.
I will say it is a bucket list thing. I've never had a mint julep. I know people that have, and they said it's awful. I don't know if you've ever had one. They said it's terrible. I mean, it just is like. One, and I'm not.
I have had one. It's not my favorite, but it's you're there. You're in the mix. You want to be part of the festivities, so I get it.
Are we running into a time at some particular point in time that they're gonna stretch this out a little bit because of the fact that between the Kentucky Derby and the Preakness, we go 2 weeks to the Preakness and then 3 more weeks to the Belmont. Now we've had a horse that won the Kentucky Derby and didn't even run in the Preakness, which is horrific. I don't know about 4 weeks, but I mean, could there come a time where we go 3 weeks and 3 weeks and just stretch this a little bit?
I think the owners want that. I think that's for sure. I just think they think it's best for the horses. It's an old school way of thinking. I have a huge appreciation for the 3 races in a short amount of time. I do think it's a real test of champions. I love, some people think that no horses should be able to enter the Preakness or the Belmont without entering the Derby. I think that's silly. I think that's what makes it hard. And only the best horses should be able to compete against new shooters, as they say. I wouldn't be surprised if they make the change. Now, it's going to be a little different this year because the Belmont Stakes is going to be at Saratoga because they're doing a lot of work at Belmont. So it's going to be a little crinkle in the festivities this year. But it would not surprise me if down the road we do see a change to the calendar. I hope it doesn't happen because I do love the 3 races in a short amount of time. And if a horse is able to win these 3 races, it really is quite the feat.
Yeah, but you can't not enter your horse in the Preakness if you win the Derby, though. I mean that's a bad thing because the Derby is what gets, or the Triple Crown is what gets people's hearts really pumping when we get to Belmont Park. And you're right. Not only next year, I think it's the next 2 years they're going to run up at Saratoga.
Yes, right.
Now
that festival this year is already sold out. Like Saratoga is going to be
it's going to be ridiculous
for that.
Yeah.
But
the other thing is, the dirty little secret there is that, I mean, the Belmont is the monster. The Belmont is the 1.5 miles. This is the long one. And the next 2 years, when it's being run at Saratoga, it'd only be 1.25 miles. I'm not sure why. I mean, I don't know. Is it not feasible on that track? Once they pull the starting gate out for them to go 1.5 miles. But that changes. I think that drastically changes the Triple Crown. If we do have a horse going for a Triple Crown at Belmont at 1.25 miles, that's a different animal. I don't know if that doesn't deserve a little bit of an A-Rod asterisk in there, or something along those lines.
It'll definitely be talked about. It's look, they call it the Test of Champions because it's 1.5 miles. It's a thick, deep track with wide turns. Belmont's a hard track to run at, and that's why it's one of the best, in my opinion, in the country. Certainly a wrinkle this year, and I wouldn't be shocked if a horse wins the Triple Crown. I don't know if we have a horse this year that can, but should somebody do it 5-6 years from now, we'll play. But that was the year they ran at Saratoga at 1.25 miles. So I wouldn't be shocked if we hear that.
All right, so you want to bet 50 cents and win 1,000. I don't think that we have too many opportunities to do that, but handicap this field, 21 horses. That's a big field. Handicap this field for us here. We only have, I think, 3 or 4, maybe 5 horses less than 10 to 1, and then they all become, kind of long shotty. But give us the ones that you like that are short odds. Give us the ones that you like that are medium odds. And is there some goofy 50 to 1 in there that could do something in this one?
I find it to be the responsibility of the handicapper to try and come up with ways to beat favorites and to give you the best prices. I really only think there's 5 to 6 horses in this race that could win. Other Kentucky Derbies, you feel differently. This race, I think it really comes down to fierceness all the way on the outside. If he can break clean, if Sierra Leone can navigate through traffic from the 2, the horse I really like in this race, and that's the 4. Catching Freedom. And, you can maybe throw 1 or 2 other horses in there. Domestic Product, people seem to like 30 to 1 in the morning line, tremendous connections. And Forever Young, the horse coming out of Brandon Maidon and is Japanese bred, who's 5 for 5. But we haven't seen a horse translate from Dubai over here and run particularly well. So I think there's only 5 or 6 that really have a chance. You can certainly throw any horse into the trifecta in that 3rd slot and get lucky. And with a race like this, like I said earlier, there's so much blind money in this. The trifectas, the exactas, the pick 4s, even the place wages are going to be so ballooned that you can bet a little bit and make a lot. I really like Catching Freedom in this race, and I just think that I'm going to try and keep this as layman terms as possible. They're going to be going really fast up front. That typically happens in the Derby. The jockeys are revved up. The crowd is loud. The horses aren't used to this many people to their right, so they, sometimes horses react differently. I think that Track Phantom, who's the 12 horse, adds blinkers, which means that they're telling you he's going to the lead. That's their plan. He doesn't want any horses. He doesn't want to see any horses around him. They're going to put that horse to the lead. They're going to go fast. Fierceness is going to chase that horse. And there's going to be a couple other cheap speed horses, West Saratoga, Endlessly, other horses that are going to make the pace fast up front, which to me, race flow means a horse coming off the pace is going to have an advantage as they turn for home because those horses are going to wear out a little bit. That's why I like Catching Freedom, who's a closer, and Sierra Leone. If Sierra Leone drew anywhere but the 2, which is very difficult in this race, the 1, the 2, and the 3, because when you break out of the gate, there's going to be a lot of horses to your right that are going to get in front of you, and you're going to have to navigate 19 horses as you're trying to make a run for the lead. If Sierra Leone got like the 7 or the 8 post, would be my best bet in this race. I think he would romp. That 2 really hurts. I trust the rider, Tyler Gaffleone. He's as good as it gets navigating traffic, but there's still 19 horses. It's a lot of work to do. Flavian Pratt, who rides Catching Freedom, is an aggressive rider. He knows fractions. He knows when he can make a move, when he can't make a move, and he really asks a lot of his horses down the stretch. He won this race before, albeit by disqualification. He's won a ton of great races. I think just the advantage of having 4 spot over the 2 gives him the opportunity to make that first move and aim for the leaders as they get to the top of the stretch. And if he runs anywhere near how he ran in the Louisiana Derby, he's going to be a handful down the stretch at what I think is going to be a nice price at 8 to 1 or better. And I think Sierra Leone is going to make a big run as well. Just is going to have trouble making that run early. And I think it's going to be those 2 finishing 1-2. Sierra Leone, Catching Freedom are my top 2. Catching Freedom is my top pick, but that's going to be my exacta. You can throw a handful of horses underneath. Just a Touch is a horse that I like. Ran exceptionally well in the Bluegrass. Showed a lot of speed there. And Fierceness, look, has freaked in a couple races. Didn't run against much in the Florida Derby, but has the highest speed figures. tremendous connections. Todd Fletcher, Mike Rapoli, Johnny Velasquez, Johnny V, who's ageless, it feels like, is riding some of the best he's ever rode in his career, and he's a Hall of Fame rider already. So certainly is going to be, if that horse is anywhere where the connections think he is, he's going to be a big presence in this race. So 8-1, Catching Freedom is my top pick. Sierra Leone is my second choice, and then I'm between a bunch of other horses. Fierceness I'm going to throw in there. Now, there are forecasting rain today. It was raining earlier in Kentucky and Churchill Downs. If the 3, Mystic Dan, can get a good trip, your third-place finisher and your Arkansas Derby runner in the Southwest as well, the rain and the slop really benefits him. So at 20-1, if they're saying that the ground is wet, certainly a horse at a nice price you could throw in the exacta and think that he's going to have an advantage because he's run well over the slop.
So are you surprised that the Sierra Leone stayed at 3-1 being in that 2-hole? As tough as that 2-hole is, and how you can get stuck on a rail, but those numbers are still pretty strong at 3-1. Does that surprise you at all? Do you think that might grow at all?
I think he might actually go down a little bit to 5-2. People are going to play him. Chad Brown's one of the best trainers in the country, albeit typically a grass on the turf. Tyler Gaffalione is as good as it gets. This horse, talent-wise, I think might be the best horse in the field, just through an unlucky spot. Doesn't mean he can't win. I mean, the Sire Gun Runner is, a Breeders' Cup winner, one of the best we've seen in a long time. They paid, if you look at this, they paid almost $2.5 million for the horse. So he's well-bred. They have a lot of expectations. And like I said, if he drew anywhere further to the outside, he'd be, in my opinion, a steal at 3-1. Not saying he can't win. It's just he's up against it in this race.
You mentioned Track Phantom, being a sprinter and getting out early. You don't think that horse – let me ask you this. Could that horse – this is what we're asking our listeners to do. We're asking our listeners to give us a horse that will at least show. So a top 3 horse, one horse, and their odds of, winning a very nice prize, which is a $200 slot in our charity golf tournament, their odds increase if they're, whoever has the longest shot to finish in the top 3. So was a horse like Track Phantom at 20-1, is that a good bet to maybe still, finish top 3 to show her better, or do you think he fades big time?
It would surprise me if Track Phantom finishes in the money. I think Track Phantom will play a big part in the result in the race, merely because he's a pace presence up front. He would either, nobody else would go with him, like Fierceness, no one else would really challenge him up front, and he'd have it his own way, or he just freaked like a machine. It would stun me if he finishes in the money. Grid horse should be here. Connections are tremendous. Joel Rosario is a great rider. If you're looking for a horse at a bit of a price that can finish in the top 3, it would be, in my opinion, domestic product. The 15, another Chad Brown horse, winner of the Tampa Bay Derby, although they had a glitch with their betting system. It was a non-wagered event, which is just one of the most embarrassing things I've ever seen in horse racing. But a very out of practical joke, who ran really well in the Kentucky Derby a couple of years ago. Irad Ortiz is an A-level rider. Another horse where I think he's going to make a move late and be closing down the stretch, and at a price 30-1, could pass some tired horses late and maybe sneak into the money.
Okay, so that's domestic product at 30-1. Guys are marking this down. I'm sure they're ready to get in and jump in. Catching Freedom, you like at 8-1 to win it all, which would pay a nice price at that. What do you think it goes to post? Do you think it'll stay at 8-1, or you think it goes down, up? Or what do you think is going to happen there? Unless
Fierceness or Sierra Leone scratch out of the race, I think Fierceness is going to go down to 9-5-ish, and I think Sierra Leone may go to 5-2. So Catching Freedom, maybe 7-1, but I think we're going to be right around ballpark there. It's 8-1, 7-1. Maybe there's a hot horse that gets bet a lot during the day. Maybe the Japanese horse Forever Young gets bet quite a bit, and Catching Freedom even rises up a little bit. But I just think last year Flavien Prat was the rider of Angel of Empire, another horse that I liked, had the same pattern, and he didn't win. He finished third. Has a horse here, same running style, but I think Catching Freedom's better. I think the rider's going out there saying, I was in this spot last year. People thought I was going to win. I had a good trip, just didn't, just moved a little late. I think he really wants it this year. And if the horse has it in him, and I think he does, and I think he's going to get set up well, Catching Freedom's my top pick. And something, look, with horse racing, you kind of have to play things a little by ear at times. Now it's wet right now in Churchill. And if they seal it, if they seal the track tonight before tomorrow, it might favor speed tomorrow. So you're going to have to watch the day a little bit and see if, oh, wow, these horses that are going to the lead are hanging on because it's a little firmer to the rail or, so it's harder to close. I do think come time, Kentucky Derby, 6:30, 6:57 now tomorrow night. It gets later every year, it feels. The track will be playing fair. I think this is a really good opportunity to bet. Any bet in this race is going to pay money, and that's what makes it great. But for me, I really like Catching Freedom in this spot. I love the sire Constitutional Florida Derby winner. The trainer, Brad Cox, is as good as it gets. Makes a lot of sense in this spot. Now, look, Fierceness can go out and freak, and we could all be wrong, but I just think that at 9-5, which I think he's going to go off at, it's so hard to take a 9-5 shot in the 20-horse field. It doesn't matter to me. I'm going to look elsewhere.
BetRivers.com is where you can find Brian Monzo. He just showed you how much he knows about this stuff. He is all over it. And, Brian, I appreciate you. Good to talk to you. And if the Bruins go down tomorrow night, I'll jump on your Rangers bandwagon. But, I'm hoping to get another round out of the Bruins. I can't take these first-round exits anymore. But appreciate you, man. Good stuff.
You bet, man. Take care. Good luck to everybody, and let's go Rangers, right?
There you go. He dropped the Let's Go Rangers in there. Thanks, Brian. Brian Monzo. Care. All right, we get a break. We will come back and set you up for hour number 2 next, right here on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
The state's largest orthopedic group is growing to meet the needs of the patients in our community. The Orthopedic Center has long been the most trusted name in orthopedics in North Alabama. So as our area continues on the fast track, so does the need for premier orthopedic care anywhere and anytime you need it. TOC is proud to announce the opening of our new locations in Albertville and Hampton Cove, along with the grand opening of our newest office in Decatur. These clinics will offer the same high-quality orthopedic care you have come to associate with TOC, with the convenience of being closer to home. As a patient, your time is your most precious asset, and we recognize that at TOC. That's why we are also proud to announce the opening of our urgent ortho clinics to handle those bumps and bruises that need prompt attention. These clinics are available to care for acute orthopedic injuries with no appointment necessary. With 38 physicians, 20 centers of excellence, and now more than a dozen locations to serve you, TOC will continue to be the name you turn to for the best orthopedic care at the right time. Visit our website at visittoc.com for more information. TOC, helping you live a better life.
What if I told you that Bigfoot is real and that he's making the best donuts you've ever had? Come see for yourself at Bigfoot's Little Donuts. Come in and order from over 50 flavors, all made hot and delicious. Ranked in the top 100 donut shops in the nation by Yelp. Bigfoot Little Donuts. Order in store or online at bigfootslittledonuts.com for pickup or delivery from Grub South or DoorDash. South Parkway, Huntsville, and County Line Road, Madison. Bigfoot's Little Donuts.
Tom Luganbill here for my friends at Woody Anderson Ford. Bobby White and his team take great pride in their service department, and you can see it the moment you walk into those beautiful new service lanes. And just like a championship team, they all work together to make sure your experience is second to none, whether you drive a Ford or not. Also, check out the gold-certified pre-owned inventory at Woody Anderson Ford for great deals every day. Stop by and see them at Jordan and Sparkman or at Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, or visit WoodyAndersonFord.com.
Follow us on Twitter. Subscribe to us on our YouTube channel and Twitch. Just search 97.7 ESPN. We are 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Welcome back. Tom Abraham Show. Segment of the show brought to you by TOC. If you have orthopedic problems and are considering professional care, TOC is the only logical choice. Whether you have a work-related injury or got sidelined playing the sport you love, you need the best care, the best physicians, and the best facility to get you back in the game. Stay in the game with TOC. All right, let me see if I can knock these guys out here. Bama Brad is up first. Bama Brad, welcome to the show. How are you?
I'm good, big dog. How you doing?
I am fantastic. You ready to get in on this thing?
I am, man. I was up riding by your Winchester the other day, looked for Big Dog Production Studios, but I didn't find it. But,
no, you'd have to be coming down to Keller Street, the back alley, Keller Street, between my house and the studio is where you'd have to find it there. Okay. All right, Braves at L.A. What do you like?
I'm going to take Braves.
Bruins Leafs Game 7.
I'm going to pull for your Bruins.
Okay, that's a good job by you. All right, give me a horse.
Well, I can't believe that Wolverine Dan didn't take Mystic Dan, but anyway, I'm going to, I used to ride a steel horse, so I'm going to go with Just Steel.
Okay, I like that, Just Steel. All right, we got you in.
All right, y'all have a good one.
I appreciate it. All right, let me get LSU Lynch in here. LSU Lynch, what's going on, man?
Yeah, let's go. Brave.
Got the Braves in there. Maple Leafs, Maple Loafs, as I like to call them. And give me a horse.
What was it? To Catch You Freedom? Is that correct?
Hang on one second. Let me just double check that one there for you.
He was just talking about it.
Oh, Catching Freedom. Yeah, Catching Freedom at 8-1. Yep.
Yeah. Hey,
right.
look at great job on the trophies and everything because, looking at them and everything, it looked like that you won the Adult Porn Star of the Year.
Yeah, I'm not sure which one of those would be for that. I'm going to go out on a limb and say I don't know. I know I did not win that though, but I'm not sure which one of those.
I couldn't imagine which one honestly would look like a trophy from
Possibly this one.
Probably the one that looks like
the microphone one. Maybe the microphone. I'm not sure. Oh man. All right, coming up next, spring football, professional style, both indoor and outdoor. The good, the bad, and the ugly. Next, with Zach Keilman on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
97.7 ESPN The Zone is the Tennessee Valley's #1 destination for the finest in sports talk all day long. Tune in to Talkin' Ball with Scott Tyson and Drew DeArmond each morning at 7. Then, the Morning Blitz with Captain Cool and the Bandy Man. At noon, it's the Tom Abraham Show, followed by Paul Feinbaum and The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton. The Zone is also your home for University of Alabama and UAH sports, plus the Atlanta Braves and the High School Sports Streaming Network. And sister station Talk Radio WZZN has Trash Pandas action with Josh Carey all season long. 97.7 ESPN The Zone and Talk Radio WZZN. Listen on the air or download the apps and take them with you everywhere.
WZZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
If you knew a local restaurant was featured on America's Best Restaurants on YouTube's Bring the Heat, would you not want to try it? Of course you would. So come on down to Lo Capone's and enjoy authentic Italian food and live entertainment daily. Everything is made fresh at Lo Capone's. Mama's secret lasagna recipe, the pizza dough, the sauces, all made fresh daily. And Lo Capone's bar is fully stocked to round out your dining experience. In Florence and now in Huntsville on University Drive. Come on down to Lo Capone's.
Alumni Hall is the ultimate shopping destination for Auburn and Alabama fans. Get your baseball gear, graduation gifts, or cheer on your team with the newest apparel, hats, and accessories for the entire family. Shop the newest collection of top brands like Nike, Adidas, Champion, Columbia, Yeti, New Era, plus 2 for $38 shirts. Sign up for the Alumni Hall Pass rewards and earn $10 for every 150 points accumulated. Come see us at Alumni Hall near Belk in the Bridge Street Town Center. Alumni Hall, where the best fans shop.
By now, you know about Eagle Masonry and Insulation, and maybe you know that Eagle also does landscaping and dirt work. But how about after paint work? Shower doors, shelving, and mirrors, all taken care of by Eagle, the same Eagle that takes care of all your masonry, insulation, and landscaping needs. Eagle brings the same level of expertise to all these disciplines, and they're ready to provide you with a free quote. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
The kitchen is the heart of any home. It's where the family gathers. It's where kids discover old recipes and make them their own. Just starting out or just now getting started on the dream kitchen you've always wanted?
I'm Chris Haygood, and from all of us here at Bob Wallace Appliance to the home builders and the homeowners of the Huntsville area, a heartfelt thank you for buying local. We're in Huntsville, Florence, and Coleman, and online at bobwallaceappliance.com.
College football.
The ball is caught. It is a touchdown.
Major League Baseball.
That ball is gone. A home run.
This is your place for complete sports coverage all year long. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
The opinions of Thom Abraham are not necessarily the opinions of the radio station or anybody associated with the radio station or ownership. These are strictly his own opinions, and sometimes they're not even his opinions.
You need to be more like a dog.
Like what you guys are doing. You've got your fingertip on the pulse of your listeners. You guys know what they're talking about.
Be a dog.
God bless the show. You are the Messiah.
We need more dogs.
This is the best show on radio.
The big dog, Thom Abraham, is here with you.
Hey, I see you. Hey, I see you, dog.
So settle in and get your bark on.
That's my dog.
Now live. Here he is, the big dog.
Let's go, baby!
Thom Abraham.
How you doing? 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 How you doing?
Look, I don't speak Spanish.
I don't know how to say this, so I'm going to choose my words very carefully. I think you're a psycho.
Do you know who I am?
I mean, that guy sounds like El McPherson farting into Miles Davis' trumpet.
I guess I'm on here. Am I on? Can somebody respond?
Get off my lawn.
I have to drag my Yankee ass out of here.
And welcome back, hour number 2 to Thom Abraham Show, and we'll get back to our Friday trifecta in a bit. Remember, you've got the opportunity to pick on 3 things now. We're picking on 3 things because, you know, it is the trifecta, and we're giving you a chance to play on the North Alabama Mortgage team in the WZZN charity golf event that's coming up on May 13th, Cherokee Ridge. You have the chance to play there. All you have to do is come up with a winning combination in the trifecta. We're asking you who's going to win that series between the Braves and the Dodgers out in L.A. We're asking you who's going to win Game 7 between the Bruins and the Maple Leafs, 2 original 6 teams. That's coming up on tomorrow night. And then we want a horse to place. That's all you got to do. Top 3, a horse in the Kentucky Derby to finish in the top 3. And if your horse finishes in the top 3, we will get you into the golf tournament. It works that easy. This segment of the show is brought to you by Valley Equipment Rental, family-owned business serving the entire Tennessee Valley area. They base their business on their customers. They pride themselves in customer service and treating people the way that they would want to be treated. Valley Equipment services the needs of contractors and landscapers and homeowners and do-it-yourselfers. Owner Ross Roberts grew up in the equipment rental industry, and now they have 2 tremendous locations on the North and the South Parkway. And remember, if you rent this afternoon, it's not due back until Monday morning, so you get a lot of work done this weekend, like I'm getting done this weekend. All right, we are halfway through the UFL season. I talked about this a little bit in the open, but the UFL, is getting looking a little bit top heavy. Our Birmingham Stallions, 5-0 now on the season, but there are a couple other teams in the XFL conference, the St. Louis Battlehawks and the San Antonio Brahmas, that are 4-1 as well. Plus, the rebirth of the AFL is underway, and to be honest with you, it doesn't look like they were ready. To be honest, I'm just saying. Jack Keilman is with us from the PFN, the Pro Football Newsroom. PF Newsroom is where you find them. They cover all of the things that have to do with spring and summer football, and he joins us now on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. Zach, welcome back. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing good, Tom. Glad to be on the show. At least for one portion that's talking to UFL, and has to be kind of duality here with the AFL portion. But glad to be at least talking with you football. That's always a win to me.
It's the good, the bad, and the ugly. The good has been the play in the UFL. The bad has been the attendance outside of St. Louis, and the ugly is the AFL. So let's start with the good. The combining of all of these players that played spring ball last year into these 8 teams has resulted in some pretty good play, and the TV numbers have been reflective of that. They're averaging about $1 million a game on the broadcasts, and but the play itself, just your thoughts about that, because I thought I think that the play itself has been pretty decent.
Yeah, Tom, I'm very much along the line with you. The play is definitely some of the best spring ball we have seen in the 21st century, no doubt about it. That's not just me saying that. Coaches and players have felt the same way across the league, that this does feel like it's the most competitive spring ball we have gotten, and honestly, the most entertaining spring ball we have gotten. Every week has been close games for the most part, or it feels like high-quality offenses are getting put together, or defensive performances now, to where it makes it easier for, I think, the casual fans to get in. For us, like myself and maybe you, where we just love football to have football, it just makes it even better, a better viewing experience. But great teams right now, and honestly, a good chunk of that, as we've I think you and I have talked about in the past, is the consolidation of talent and putting the best on best. It just makes for a higher quality talent pool and a higher quality product on the field.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. And, it's interesting that Birmingham just continues to be so good. St. Louis is obviously playing good. San Antonio is playing good. But this Stallion team they're really entertaining to watch. And, Skip Holtz continues to do such a great job.
I am impressed continuously at how Skip Holtz keeps building his legacy in spring football. And I talked with my colleague Stefan Raychuk, who I do the UFL podcast with for this week's show. And honestly, that section of his career and legacy, I think, is going to shine brighter than even some of his own college accolades, given that it's been impressive year in and year out. Same with Zach Potter, the GM, and how those two have worked so collaboratively to find ways to bring in not only the best talents they've had from the last 2+ years of the team existing, but finding new talents too and making it work. Like, I still am surprised, and I'm not a fan of per se swapping quarterbacks during the season, but they somehow have 2 starting quarterbacks to where you have to, you're okay with seeing either one on the field. It's almost splitting hairs, Tom, just to see which one is going to be the more successful QB that week. And that's all thanks to that dynamic duo in the coaching and front office. It's impressive what they've been able to accomplish. Even now with a merged league with even more competitive talent, they are now still undefeated, and it feels like nothing changed.
Yeah, nothing has changed with them, and they continue to play really good football. Now, having said that, it doesn't seem to be resonating in the stands, and I don't know that the UFL powers that be care. It almost feels like they don't really care that much about whether or not the stands are filled. Now, DC plays in a perfect stadium for this spring game, and it has a great atmosphere. There's no doubt there. St. Louis is filling the lower bowl, and they're averaging 36,000 a game, which is, and it's so much better, to have that atmosphere at the games and stuff. But we are seeing such small crowds in these other places. Houston 6,200 a game, Memphis 7,600 a game, and they've had some that look like it was basically the family and friends plan, at the game there. Do you think that the fans just don't want to go to these games, or do you think that there's really not much of a promotional push been made on, going to a game physically?
I think there's a combination of factors here. One of them, like you're talking, I do think the promotion could be better right now locally, and that does come back to the league's decision to have the one hub where everyone's housed and every player is housed in Arlington, Texas. It's a better financial setup, but you have less opportunity unless you invest in promotional teams in each market to really get the word out there. And I don't think it has been that well of a focused effort promotionally in the local markets per se. I think that there could be many things they're doing better, and they're trying to get more events going. Houston this week is going to have 3 days in a row of local events that they're going to have apparently players in the city and doing whatnot. So I think they realize that they do need to get better at the promotion angle. But that being said, I also feel like this is a product of the merger where, remember, the merger didn't take place or finish until December. So a lot of this was kind of, okay, the merger clicks in, now we just need to get the season going. And it's tough having that short of a time frame to kind of get some of those things locked down after you're kind of in this middle area of will we, won't we, back in the wintertime of last year. It's hard to say. I think the promotion can get better. Personally, if the promotion's better, I'm hoping the ticketing's better with a longer runway now that you're merged. Michigan, for example, Tom, they didn't even get to sell tickets till 17 days out from their home opener. And I know from talking from ticketing personnel in the past and kind of getting that insight on the industry, that's hard to start drumming up business when you only have a little under 2 weeks to get people and butts in seats or season tickets organized. They have a lot to sort out for next year. The attendance is definitely something I don't think many people are going to say has been a success. St. Louis has been a success. But Birmingham, I know that there could be improvements, and people say the same. San Antonio, I've been shocked, has not been able to gain traction. And that's just from given the AAF days that they have not been able to claw back to those numbers. So there's a lot of work that could be done in those departments.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. And you know, and it's one thing in Birmingham, if it was Legion Field, I'd understand to a certain extent. All right. Mm-hmm. Legion Field is a dump, and it's, you know, it's old, it has history certainly, but it's gotten, you know, no creature comforts, and it's in a neighborhood you got to shoot your way in and shoot your way out. They're playing in a beautiful, brand new stadium in a nice little section of you and I were there, remember, for Springfest, and they have all the hotels right around it there, a protective field, the stadium state of the art, everything. So you can't blame it on any of that. But I'm going to be brutally honest with you here. We're 80 miles away, 90 miles away at the most, right here in North Alabama. I have 3 or 4 times contacted their whoever their local people are there who send us these press releases and asked for 2 things. 1, can I get Skip Holtz on the show or a player on the show? Crickets, absolute crickets. I said, okay. 2, do you guys want to advertise? Forget putting games on the radio. That ship has sailed. Of course, you know, I did the Alliance games for the Birmingham Iron, but asked them flat out, do you want to spend a little money and advertise? Because our people will drive 80 miles to go to a pro football game down there. Crickets. I mean, not even a response. So it seems like they're totally disconnected locally. And I don't know if it's that way in all of the markets or not. Obviously, St. Louis is an outlier. What do you think the future is in terms of having true local connection in terms of, you know, I don't know if it's ownership or partners or whatever, you know?
You know, I'm going to be honest with you. I think that they're going to have to hope that they recalculate during this season. I'll be honest with you. It definitely is. This is another product of the merger that I've been not a fan of, Tom, because I've heard similar stories through the grapevine on things like this, where it's tough to get access to certain things. And, you know, I wish that would change. It's going to have to take another season of me to analyze this, and I'm hoping for the best. But there are things that do frustrate me with how the league has handled certain elements of kind of getting promotional or local pieces out to people, or just locally getting engaged. So that's different. Now, I'll be honest with you, the USFL to me did a much better job. I know you've also talked about it on the radio, but I actually thought they did a better job locally promoting. And credit, they were in Birmingham, but I thought they did better, and they're going to have to reevaluate that, because I will say it's not just you and me that have had a few instances where things have not worked out exactly the way they should, when I think getting promoted to local partners as often.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. Now, in your mind, though, UFL year 2, which is kind of year 3, if you will, they'll be back, right? I mean, here we are halfway through the season. Mm-hmm. You're pretty confident. I mean, with the TV partners that they've got and the ownership that they've got, would you say that you're confident that the league itself is going to survive another year?
Yeah, I'm fairly confident it's going to survive another year, Tom. That's not a concern to me. To me, everything I've gotten is that they're, you know, again, they want to see what a full season of working through the kinks now and getting a whole off season to promote again will look like.
Right.
And that's not just me. You know, Daryl Johnson has gone on record talking to different media outlets, specifically Memphis, and they've asked about the attendance question in particular in their own home market. And he said similar comments where, you know, let's see if we can get a full runway, you know, let's see how we can address this in the off season where we can have more time. Because again, the merger was really a crunch. Again, they got things sorted out in December. and just kind of really just need to get a season going. And I think that will solve a lot of ill wills of sorts.
Yeah. Zach Keilman with us here, talking a little UFL, spring ball, and all of that kind of stuff that is going on. And I wonder if there'll be any new or relocated teams. Do you think this group, they're committed to this group of teams? Is there a thought process of expanding at all? And then the other part of that would be if there's any involvement from the NFL, because I think that any kind of a partnership with the NFL would be very, very beneficial to them.
Right. I won't be able to speak on how they feel about the NFL. I would think that a partnership in the way with the NFL could help. At least to help kind of grow their brand a little bit more. Mm-hmm. In particular, if we're talking like connection with NFL, I know like Reese kind of synchronizing with rules might help too. We talked about the kickoffs being different, and I'm definitely going to say that they're going to evaluate that for next year. But otherwise, I mean, relocations and the like, the league, I will say, has kind of been open and saying, hey, we're analyzing everything this first year with the merger. So I take that as almost they're analyzing the entire field. Do I think that they move any of the teams? I'm not confident on that. Again, I really feel like from just every comment I have read or understood, kind of analyzing what the league's feeling like, is I think they do want to see these markets get at least some sort of due diligence for a full year lead. And now that could change. Certain elements like costs do always factor in. I mean, one thing that I've understood is for certain is, playing at Ford Field in Michigan, it's a price tag, and that a lot of venues do have their own price tags connected like that, but everything gets put on the table when you're trying to get the profitability. So who knows? But clearly they have stated that everything is on the table and they are going to evaluate what they need to.
Yeah, no doubt about it. All right, let's finish with the ugly, which has been the AFL. I was excited about it. I did arena football for 12 or 13 years, was a voice of a couple of different teams, 3 different teams, did Nashville Venom games when they won a championship in Nashville. In one of the iterations of leagues there, we did them in the Nashville Auditorium. We had 5,000 or 6,000 a game. They had 5,300 in the first game there, and they said, a packed house, and that building holds 9,500. Okay, it's not a packed house at 5,300 there in Nashville. But you got some big names involved in certain places. You got Eli Golden, Pete Weber, for God's sakes, doing the game for Nashville. You got Jeff Fisher, the former Titans coach and Rams coach, that is involved with that team as a part owner as well. But then you've got places where the Philadelphia Soul, they got the players got thrown out of their hotel because the bill didn't get paid. They didn't show up to play their game against the Voodoo, who have their own issues, who are playing in Lake Charles. They're not the New Orleans Voodoo or the Louisiana Voodoo. And they basically threw together a team of other arena players in Philadelphia Soul uniforms so that they can have a game. I mean, this stuff is nuts. And this big deal about the NFL Network carrying games, we were told that last night's game was on the NFL Network in Albany between, Nashville and Albany, and it wasn't on anything. So what's going on with this thing? It seems like they were nowhere near ready to start playing football this year, at least.
I am, from everything I have gotten, and I'll tell you, Tom, I've been disappointed ever since really the last few weeks leading up to the season, now hitting into week 1. You're absolutely right on the head. They were not ready to go. And I think what's happening here is we are seeing a league office that is trying to hold the pieces together as best they can to hold a facade up, and it's not working. Look, the NFL Network deal was supposed to be this massive piece for a lot of teams, get a lot of national exposure with that 30 games. And the latest rumor on that is that that's not happening anymore. You missed 2 weeks of trying to get a broadcast on air because they missed out on the first 3 broadcasts last week, and they're already missing on a 4th, which was yesterday, which, by the way, great game, another good football game that could have been on air and promoted arena football, but wasn't able to get on. And Yeah, we've heard from what I've heard is that the NFL Network is not going to be honoring that deal anymore, and I would say that's probably for the best, given what the league has been looking like and what it looks like in the public eye. That Philadelphia deal, Tom, is disgusting for a professional organization or for any professional entity to have done. I draw the line to an extreme degree when teams start messing with people's lives. And that is exactly what that was right there. When you're leaving players abandoned at a freaking Motel 8 or whatever in Philadelphia, they have to get their bags back from the hotel, which they have to get authorities involved because the hotel is essentially holding their stuff hostage at that said hotel. Money's owed. There's rumors the commissioner actually said that they could keep the stuff at the hotel if they weren't allowed to give it back to the players. There's way more, and there's so much more that's coming out right now that I wish I could even say further with other teams. Like the Iowa Rampage, Tom, they just ceased operations yesterday.
Oh, my gosh, really?
Yeah. No, I'm not kidding you. That they officially ceased operations. Team closed up. The two owners basically said, we have no money and good luck. And so right now, the league and the Southwest Kansas Storm are basically trying to help save the players on the Rampage to play a week of football, and then they'll release them all. There's way more going on.
Oh, my God.
But the Philadelphia story was just the beginning. There's a ton more that's going to come.
What a crap show that whole thing turned out to be. And I feel terrible for the people I know that are involved in Nashville. Some really good people, and it's just ugly. All right. It always seems to be the way. There's always something with these alternate leagues, and I'm just hoping that the UFL and the Birmingham Stallions, one of the best football uniforms in all of football, is that Stallions gear. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, I appreciate you as always. Great stuff, and we'll look forward to continuing the conversation.
Yeah, I can't wait to catch up with you again, Tom. Hopefully on some better terms for things. But, yeah, definitely always a great conversation with you, sir.
All right, man. Thank you. And it's Zach Keilman. It's pfnewsroom.com is where you can get that stuff. They predominantly covering the UFL. I hate it for the AFL guys, just for the people I know involved. I mean, that thing – what a joke. All right, we'll get a break in there. We'll come back. We'll start taking your phone calls again. You want to jump in on the trifecta? This is the time to do it. It's the Thom Abraham Show, 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
You're listening to the Thom Abraham Show on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
This is Brent Musburger's VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Get insights into the sports betting market with VSiN's betting splits. See where the money is and keep updated on how the market is reacting. Only at VSIN.com. Now, here are the latest lines from my guys in the desert.
The NASCAR Cup Series will be racing at Kansas Speedway. It is the Advent Health 400. Denny Hamlin is the defending champion. He's coming off a win at Dover and is tied with William Byron for the most wins on the Cup Series this season with 3. He's also the betting favorite for Sunday's race at plus 500. Kyle Larson is at plus 550 to take the checkered flag. Byron also at plus 550. Christopher Bell is plus 650 to win at Kansas Speedway. Martin Truex Jr. plus 900. And Chase Elliott also plus 900. For VSiN.com, I'm Tony Desiri, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
AL cert number 21014.
Are those high utility bills driving you crazy this time of year? If they are, Talent Heating and Air has the special for you.
That's right. We're going to run a $49 spring checkup on your system. We're going to come out, we're going to check those heat kits, make sure that everything was working through the winter right, and then we're going to also make sure your Freon's good, make sure that you're ready for the summertime.
How important is that to be done this time of year?
It's really the most important time of the year. We can avoid safety concerns caused by wintertime use, and then we can also make sure that you're ready for the summertime.
And to get ready for the summertime, you just got to call
256-503-4490.
Or you can find them online at
talenthvac.com.
That's Talent Heating and Air. One more time.
256-503-4490.
Talent Heating and Air. Let them save you money.
171.294 miles an hour.
You wake up late for school, man, you don't want to go. You ask your mom, please, but she still says no. You missed 2 classes and no homework. But your teacher preaches class like you're some kind of jerk. You gotta fight for your right to party.
AndersonFord.com.
Owen Home Appliance Center features the biggest names in home appliances like Viking, Whirlpool, Maytag, KitchenAid, GE, and Frigidaire. But they also have great brands that you may not know, like Mela, Forno, Z-Line, Invisicook, and Beko. But no matter what, they all get delivered the day you buy, and they service everything they sell. And at the Lacey Springs showroom, just 8 miles south of the river on 231, you'll find a totally interactive showroom where you can hear the dishwashers wash, and the freezer's free, and see the cookies get baked in the double ovens. Owen Home Appliance Center will even wash and dry a load of clothes for you so that you can see how great the products are. And they have ice machines making all kinds of ice, cubed, nugget, and top hat. How is that for variety? Owen Home Appliance Center believes in community involvement as well, sponsoring youth teams, race cars, and an annual Easter egg hunt. Quality products, quality pricing, quality service is the name of the game for Owen Home Appliance Center. Find them in Somerville and Lacey Springs and online at owenappliance.com.
Eagle Masonry and Insulation. It's right there in the name. Eagle is your one-stop shop for block, stone, or brickwork, monument signs, and outdoor kitchens and fireplaces. Eagle also offers the finest craftsmanship and insulation, including fiberglass or spray foam insulation, and of course, insulation removal. Philip Love and his team have years of experience bringing the region the best in masonry and insulation services. For more information and a quote, visit insulatewitheagle.com or call 256-755-1556. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
I'm attorney Gary Lackey. If you've been injured and need a lawyer right now, do you know who you really get?
I'm attorney Jennifer Lackey. You want to talk to your lawyer. My clients talk to me.
And me. I'm attorney Justin Lackey. We're the ones that you talk to.
And we're the ones who handle your personal injury case.
And we'll take care of it.
The Lackey Law Firm. 1-800-4-RIGHTS.
No representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
Our steady diet consists of food and football, and occasionally some baseball and hoops.
Did you eat a lot of paint chips when you were a kid?
97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Segment of the Tom Abraham Show is brought to you by Owen Home Appliance. Owen Home Appliance Center features the biggest names in home appliances. They also have some names that you may not know, but when you go down there and you see them, you're like, oh, wow. And they're tremendous value, you know. And if you go down to the Lacey Springs showroom like I did, just 8 miles south of the river on 231, you're going to see a totally interactive showroom where you can test out all of the different appliances, regardless of what it is. They'll even pour you a cup of coffee out of a really cool coffee maker like they did with me. It grinds up the beans and then pours the coffee, and boom, and then you can, you can go walking around and shop all the great dishwashers and freezers and refrigerators and ovens and so on, washer and dryers that are incredible products I didn't even know that they made nowadays. You'll find there at Owen Home Appliance. Mike Owen and his crew, they're all local. They keep the money local. They help us out with various things. They're going to be a part of our golf tournament as well. They got a bunch of stuff they've thrown in the gift bag for the golf tournament. It's really cool. It's Owen Home Appliance. They're in Somerville, Lacey Springs, and online at owenappliance.com. That's owenappliance.com. All right, phone lines are open if you want in, 256-576-4977. I'm just going to say, I hate this deal with the AFL, what's going on with the arena football. I hate it for my friends in Nashville. All right? I hate it for Eli Gold, who famously was announced as the, voice of the Nashville Cats shortly. This league might not even last this season. That team's folding already. It's a joke. It's a joke. The best organization in the league is Nashville's. But Greg Pogue is a personal friend of mine that I worked with for years. And, he's one of the owners and handles public relations for them. Pete Weber did the game with Eli Gold. I mean, my gosh. Eli Gold and Pete Weber doing this popcorn league. Jeff Fisher is an advisor and one of the owners of the they've already had a change of ownership, or they brought in a new partner, a managing partner in Nashville. But the guy that's the commissioner of the league, this Lee Hatton clown, he owns like 5 of the teams. He's not paying guys. They're throwing players out of hotels that they're in. The guys in Philadelphia, the hotel wouldn't give them their stuff, their personal effects. Trying to get their personal effects back out of the hotel. And then they take and they just get a bunch of semi-pro guys and throw them together and put them into Philadelphia sold uniforms. This was one of the great organizations in the original Arena Football, was the Philadelphia Soul. Remember John Bon Jovi?
Yeah.
And
Bovine Joni himself. Sorry, that was always Sunny reference right there. I'm sorry. I had to do that.
You had him. Yeah, you had Ron Jaworski as an owner there.
Yeah,
that was one of the premier organizations. Not the name is the same, but they're a joke.
Yeah, no, it's not. Yeah, I missed the days of what was it, Georgia Force and
Dallas Georgia Force? They're a joke
Desperados.
Too. Yeah, they have a lot of it. They still got the Orlando Predators and some of these other outfits, but it's gonna all fold. It's all falling apart already. 2 weeks in. I mean, it's just ridiculous.
I mean, talking about the commissioner, by the way, too, I saw something. I don't know if it was when we were talking to Zach or whatever. I did see on Twitter the commissioner spelled commissioner wrong on their Twitter bio, too. So I don't know if it was like someone messed with it. Yeah, the AFL commissioners spelled commissioner wrong in their Twitter bio. So it just keeps getting worse.
It's a total joke. It's a total joke. The UFL is playing really good football.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to the games because nobody knows anything about the games because they're not promoting the game. They don't care. There's no local presence in each of the teams in the UFL. They're all based in Arlington. They just fly out for the game. There's no local. They're not advertising. They're not doing anything. There's no local radio for the games, nothing. They simulcast the TV on the satellite radio, and it sounds ridiculous. It sounds awful. All right, let's go to lines. Grumpy is up. Grumpy, welcome to the show. How are you?
Hey, man, pretty good. Down here catching some pompano on the beach.
Nice.
But it's Friday, so Dan did a great job. I'll call him Natty Danny now if he wants to get on and get off on Fridays. Let's do this.
He's very aware of you. There was no doubt about that. He's very aware of your critique. So, there is that. All right, Braves are in Los Angeles. They will play. There's Grumpy. Those of you watching on WCCN TV, Grumpy with a couple of big sheep head. Braves in Los Angeles, 3 with the Dodgers. What do you got?
Give me the home team, whoever's at home.
What's the Dodgers? They're in Los Angeles.
I don't wish that girl any bad luck, but I hope she gets hit with a car.
Tommy Lasorda. Bruins and Leafs in Boston, Game 7 tomorrow night. It's going to be epic.
Boston, home. All right.
That's what I'm talking about right there, and Bruins better get through. All right, give me a horse in this deal.
I'll go with is Freedom 10-1? Sorry to do this to you, but
Freedom is. I wanted to think. Catching Freedom is 8-1.
Sorry.
Yeah, I'll take
8-1.
Freedom.
All right, Catching Freedom
Thanks,
at
brother.
8-1.
Appreciate it.
All right, we got you. Catching Freedom is at 8-1, and that was the horse that was recommended by Brian Monzo earlier. In case you missed that. All right, at 8-1. And we are using these odds, so we're not going to change the odds if the odds change at the gate. Who are you like?
Grand Mo the first. 50-1.
Is it Grand Mo the first?
Grand Mo the first. That's what it's called. Grand Mo.
No, can't pull for a Japanese horse. I think I am going to for just to show. I like Just Steel. Mystic Dan. I'm gonna go Mystic Dan. I'm gonna give you Mystic Dan at 20-1. That's where I would go. with no particular knowledge of anything.
I like Stronghold. That's a cool name.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Stronghold's a good name.
That's a 20-1 horse, too.
Is that 20-1?
Yeah.
Encino is a good name, 20-1. Track Phantom is at 20-1. That's the sprinter. That's the one that's going to set the pace, according to Brian Monzo. Domestic Product is 30-1. Grandmo to first is 50-1, by the way.
Yeah.
You like that? Yeah. Phil the Blacksmith is next. Phil, welcome to the show. How are you?
I'm doing great today. How about yourself?
I am tremendous.
Good deal. Let me get in on one of these picks right quick for you.
All right. So the Braves are in L.A., 3-game series. Who do you like?
Dodgers.
I don't wish that girl any bad luck, but I hope she gets hit with a car.
Bruins and Leafs tomorrow night in Boston, Game 7.
Bruins.
Give me your horse.
And I won't go with the one I thought you were going to pick just there for a second, but I'm going to go with Just Steel. It just sounds like a winner.
All right, Just Steel is Just Steel. I think was picked earlier too as well, but that's okay. So Just Steel, yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one. All right, we got you in.
Appreciate you.
What did I say? Just Steel was 10-1, something like that.
20-1.
Oh, Just Steel. Just Steel. I thought did get put. It wasn't Just a Touch, right? It was Just Steel, or did both of them get picked?
Just a Touch is 10-1.
Well, we had Just Steel and Just a Touch. Okay, the second guy picked. Who was it? Natty Danny took Just a Touch.
Yeah.
Instead of taking his Dan horse, he took Just Steel.
Mystic Dan.
Yeah, thought he would have taken. I'm taking Mystic Natty Danny. I'm going to go with Mystic Natty Danny on this deal. All right. Grizz, I don't know if you heard about this. Marvin Harrison Jr., right? Drafted by the Cardinals. You're not going to find him in Madden anytime soon. And you can't get your Marvin Harrison Jr. jersey anytime soon. Marvin Harrison, he according to Adam Schefter, he has not signed the NFLPA licensing agreement, which means that his jersey won't be available. He won't be in the Madden game unless he signs the licensing agreement with the NFLPA. He could just retain his own rights without joining the rest of the NFL players. He could design his own jersey and sell his own jersey. He can even do his own deal with EA to appear in the Madden game. Now, he's required to join the union. He has to join the NFLPA.
Yeah.
But he is not required to join the licensing portion of it. Players retain their NIL rights. You know, you think NIL is just for college, but they don't. They retain their NIL rights. And the NFL players do anyway. And according to Mike Florio, he says for a new age of college players who profited significantly from NIL deals, why would they sign anything away to anyone else? Well, the reason you would sign it away to the licensing folks is because, you know, they have access to all of these. You get a piece. What do you want? Do you want a 3% cut of a million different deals, all the NFL licensing stuff that's out there, including every jersey, everybody's jersey, every hat, every jacket, every hoodie, everything? Or do you want a bigger percentage, but it's just you? But then you got to go make a deal with every single one of these people. So you won't be able to find them. And if they come up with like a number 18 with no name on a jersey, that's a brother, that's a wide receiver for the Cardinals in the EA Sports Madden game, then, expect a lawsuit.
It's like, and it's like he's not going to be one of those Madden characters either when you do your Madden Ultimate Team either.
No.
I don't understand. I just understand how that's going to work. Is there a way that it's going to be like, is it still going to be number 18? Will it be like a number that's not someone's not him? You know what I mean?
Like they used to do with the college game, if it's number 18 and it kind of looks like him and he's a wide receiver and
that's the thing about it back in the day.
He should sue him. He like, you know what I mean? Like, remember like when you had the college game, it would be like, it's obvious it was Tebow. You know, they put Tebow on the cover today. Right. It's obvious it was Tebow. Look, 15 for Florida was Tebow. You know?
Back in the day, the 2007-2008 game, it was like cutting edge. You thought that these guys looked exactly like them. They look nothing like them, okay? In the face and everything like that. The games today, they try to get the facial features and everything like that. They have to get them in there. They have to actually do it. So I think it's a lot harder, obviously, today than it is back in the day. But it's just weird because are they going to be able to make it where even in the college game where it's just like, well, I'm just going to change his name and change, maybe be able to change his number and then just do it that way. It's still going to be him, but I
don't think it's going to go down that way. It'll be interesting to see, but I don't think it's going to happen that way.
It's just weird. You're ruining my gaming experience because it's like the fan base wants to play as you. Your own fan base would like to play. I'm sure Cardinals fans would like to play. He might make a deal with
them himself,
as
but
his
then
character, or not his character, but him in the video game.
What if all the players decided to, they're not required to sign the marketing deal. So if the other players start saying, "Hey, wait a minute, let's do what he did," and we'll start.
I'll just say this: make it more.
Then the price of your video game is going to go up.
Well, it still is anyway. But people are still going to pay it anyway. But just make it more competitive because I know one of my favorite games on Xbox was NFL Street, and you gave me like a more smaller version of the game, or just like even NFL 2K versions of football were a lot better than what EA puts out, and it's just I need like a variety, and if you can give me a competitor like I've seen some shooter games kind of do, give me a competitor in the football game too, because EA is not it.
Yeah. Well, apparently they are. I mean, it's the biggest selling video game in the history of video games.
It is, but I mean, like they just crap on their fan base constantly. I mean, I can sit here and we could do 2 hours sitting here how bad EA is. So you have to pay for like everything. It's not fun.
LSU Lynch at the text window. See how much do we pay to get the picture shown as we call in? Really? Oh. I didn't know what the hell.
He got mad. He got mad because
he
is
like listening to him. You couldn't get your. Oh, he's upset because you didn't get his picture up on the screen.
I was about to reply to him on YouTube. I saw his comment. He was. Okay. I think he was upset.
Yes, you have to pay LSU Lynch. It costs you $10 every time Grizz puts up the picture. $8 go to Grizz. $2 go to me because it's my show. No, we don't necessarily. You guys are killing me. By the way,
we're trying to make it so much like some other shows. There you go.
We'll try.
Which I made up for it.
We'll try and get them up if we can get them up, if the time is right. Now, if you guys want to have your picture shown on, there he is right there. There's LSU Lynch right there with Natty Danny. If you guys want your picture shown on WZZN TV, when you call in, you need to send us a picture. That's all. Just send us a photo that you want us to put up when you're on, and it better be you. Don't send us a photo of somebody else and say that it's you. You send us a photo of you. By the way, if you want to get into the trifecta, you can do it now. 256-576-4977. All of this news that has been coming out now from the NCAA regarding NIL and the House case, and I mean, you hear Paul talking about it ad nauseum. He's got guests coming on and everything else. I don't know about you. I'm just going to say for me, and the listeners, you can correct me if you'd like. My eyes glass over now when we get into these stories about, we're going to go back and we're going to go pay players retroactively for the last 10 years of NIL stuff. Remember how much NIL was going to change the world and the transfer portal would change the world, and we don't like it. I got to be honest with you. Nobody likes the transfer portal. The transfers are too easy. The players should have some sort of a contract to stay at the school they're at for some period of time, more than 15 minutes, transferring back-to-back out of different schools in the same. You transfer in December, and then you come back in April. That's bad. We need to fix that. There's no doubt about it. But this is all off-season minutia, and to talk about how it's going to change the face of college football and it'll never be the same, just like when the CFA, the College Football Association, came out and competed with the NCAA back in the 80s, and they started their own TV network and did their own TV deal and everything. It was going to be, change the world as we know it and everything else. I don't know about you, but when toe meets leather, does anybody care about any of this?
Mm-mm.
Do we give a rat's butt as to how, who's paying the players, how you're paying the players? Just tell me how much the ticket is, and then I'm not the one that's paying the bill for everything, A. Yeah. And two, just, tell me what channel the game is on. I don't know. Do we really care about all of this earth-shattering news about the House case and the money that's going to have to be? Cry me a freaking river. They just paid Kirby Smart $13 million a year. $13 million a year Kirby Smart's getting. Okay? Cry me a river as to what you got to pay a player and who's going to pay the player. You're making billions with a B from the TV networks. If you're the SEC or if you're the Big Ten. If anything, what this is going to do, if they set up a figure, an amount of money that has to be paid, this is going to cause a further division between the group of 5 and the group of 8, if you will, or the group of 7 and the power 2, however you want to call it. The SEC and the Big Ten are getting closer and closer to being the only ones that can afford a certain amount. And more kids are going to want to go to SEC and Big Ten schools because that's they're going to pay a percentage of their revenue. That's where all the money is. Why the hell would you go to Florida State as opposed to Alabama if you can get a lot more money if you go to Alabama than Florida State? Because Florida State doesn't have the money to pay because they don't get the money that Alabama gets from the TV deal because they're in the ACC. I mean, those are the things. It's just going to continue to separate things that way. But as far as, all this earth-shattering end of college sports as we know it, you know what? Just tip the ball off, kick the ball off, and let's go. Right? I don't think, did any of you, when you were watching college football last fall, think about what a player was endorsing, whether it was Milo's tea or whether or not he had a deal with some EFT company or he had a deal with, some car lot. Did anybody care? Did it change our thought process at all? I mean, come on. Let me get Greg in here before the break. Greg, welcome to the show. How are you?
Yeah, Tom, I was going to get your trifecta.
All right. Braves are at the Dodgers. Who wins the 3-game series?
Dodgers.
I don't wish that girl any bad luck, but I hope she gets hit with a car.
Oh, everybody's on well, not everybody, but the Dodgers are pulled ahead of the Braves on that one. All right, Game 7 tomorrow night, Bruins and Leafs.
Bruins.
All right. All right, give me a horse in a race.
I'm going to go Fierceness.
All right, Fierceness, which is the favorite.
Yep.
All right, we got you in.
I appreciate you.
All right, thank you. Just keep in mind, as I said, the priority will go to the longest shots in the deal, but first you have to be in the deal. So if, for example, if Catching Freedom doesn't finish in the top 3 and Fierceness does, Greg and Johnny Anisel, whichever one of those. Now, Greg has the Dodgers. Johnny Anisel has the Braves. So first things first, you got to make sure you hit all 3 to have a chance at winning this thing. Once you win it, then you want to have the longest shot that wins it. A lot of guys get in through the text window. All right, let's get a break. We'll come back with a final segment next. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
The kitchen is the heart of any home. It's where the family gathers. It's where kids discover old recipes and make them their own. Just starting out or just now getting started on the dream kitchen you've always wanted?
I'm Chris Haygood, and from all of us here at Bob Wallace Appliance to the home builders and the homeowners of the Huntsville area, a heartfelt thank you for buying local. We're in Huntsville, Florence, and Coleman, and online at bobwallaceappliance.com.
When I
chose a garage door company, I did my homework. I needed Precision Overhead Garage Door Service. They have a 5-star Google rating. I checked the reviews and liked what their customers had to say. Precision Overhead Garage Door has lifetime warranty packages. Same-day service if I call before 2 p.m. If they can't make it the same day, my service call fee the next day is waived. They did a 25-point safety inspection on the door and operator. Now that's peace of mind. Residential, commercial, and gate services. Precision Overhead Garage Door Service. Call 256-400-4500.
It's an amazing time in our industry. Things are changing so rapidly. With digital signatures and workflow software, we help our customers work from anywhere. This helps you save time and money and upgrade your technologies. Like I said, it's an amazing time to watch our customers grow and succeed.
Just ask anyone. The Liosi Group.
Byram Energy Solutions is your one-stop shop for all your petroleum needs. They have over 50 years experience in the business and offer bulk sales of all grades of gasoline and diesel fuel. Byram Energy Solutions has diesel exhaust fluid, multiple grades of motor oil, hydraulic fluids, and many different types of grease. They provide on-site fueling, on-site loaner takes, inventory control, and fleet fuel management. You can also stop by their warehouse on Highway 231 in Lacey Springs and get any of the products they offer. Visit Byram Energy on Facebook to learn more.
Eagle Masonry and Installation. It's right there in the name. Eagle is your one-stop shop for block, stone, or brickwork, monument signs, and outdoor kitchens and fireplaces. Eagle also offers the finest craftsmanship and insulation, including fiberglass or spray foam insulation, and of course, insulation removal. Philip Love and his team have years of experience, bringing the region the best in masonry and insulation services. For more information and a quote, visit insulatewitheagle.com or call 256-755-1556. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
Flying nonstop from Huntsville is a breeze on Breeze Airways. They're nice people flying nice people to nice places on really nice planes. Let's be direct. Nonstop from Huntsville to the places you want to go. Las Vegas, Orlando, or Tampa starting at $49. It's time for a weekend getaway or a long overdue week away. Time to check in using the convenient Breeze app and check out. What are you waiting for? Book today at flybreeze.com. That's flybreeze.com. Breeze Airways. Seriously.
97.7 ESPN The Zone is the Tennessee Valley's #1 destination for the finest in sports talk all day long. Tune in to Talkin' Ball with Scott Tyson and Drew DeArmond each morning at 7. Then, The Morning Blitz with Captain Cool and the Bandy Man. At noon, it's the Tom Abraham Show, followed by Paul Feinbaum and The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton. The Zone is also your home for University of Alabama and UAH sports, plus the Atlanta Braves and the High School Sports Streaming Network. And sister station Talk Radio WZZN has Trash Pandas action with Josh Carey all season long. 97.7 ESPN The Zone and Talk Radio WZZN. Listen on the air or download the apps and take them with you everywhere.
Valid on new vehicles only. See dealer for details.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Emily Owen. For this Thursday night, a mostly cloudy sky expected. Low temperatures falling into the mid and upper 60s for the overnight. Isolated showers, potentially a few thunderstorms going to be possible, mainly early Friday morning. We'll keep rain chances in the forecast through Friday afternoon. We'll see mostly clouds. High temperatures topping out in the low 80s.
Online at 977ESPN.com.
Stream them online.
Call in.
It's an important job, and it's an vital organization.
Tweet in and join in. We are 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Final segment of the show is brought to you by Woody Anderson Ford's award-winning service department, where they do routine checkups to keep your Ford or other brand in perfect working order. If you got a bigger problem, their expert service technicians will quickly diagnose it and use state-of-the-art tools to get it resolved. Woody Anderson Ford also has a mobile service where they come out to you. The convenient mobile programs include oil changes and tire rotations and parts replacements, such as windshield wipers or lights. And if you're only available over the weekend or in the night or in the evening, the Quick Lane service is the one-stop shop to service brakes and tires and batteries. It's all at Woody Anderson Ford. No matter the service your Ford needs, Woody Anderson ensures quick, professional, and exceptional service. Bobby White, the service team at Woody Anderson Ford, standing by to take care of you. All right, let's get Brandon in here. He'll be the last one to get in. Brandon, welcome in. How are you?
Man, I'm having a pretty good day getting this outside bathroom at the pool built. So
okay,
a lot of work going on today.
Gotta have that. Yeah. Nice not to have to go in the house, that's for sure.
It's nice not have other people's kids tromping through your house.
That's what I'm saying right there. Nice. I hear you. So what's up?
Well, I want to get in on this trifecta here. And
you play golf, by the way? I never asked you that before.
I've tried to get two of my buddies that are on a large plumbing company here to come into your golf tournament because they play regularly.
Yeah.
And I just went to lunch with one of them, and he says, we're interested. He's like, we're trying to pull it together. He said, right. We need two more. He got two to pair us with. And I said, let me find out.
Yeah, no, we would be able to pair you up. We have there's 3 foursomes left, I believe. Last I checked, there's room for 3 more foursomes. So if you're going to get in, just let me know via the text window and tell me you guys are in. But if there's 2 of yous, we'll get you paired with 2 other guys. We'll make that happen. All right, so in L.A., Braves or Dodgers? 4. Okay, yeah, all 4 would be great. Going to Braves. All right, in Boston, Game 7, Bruins or the Leafs?
The Leafs are going to cover.
I hate you. All right, give me a horse in the race.
Grand Mo the first, 50-1.
Oh, he's going with Grand Mo the first. All right, we got you in.
Well, I appreciate it. And did you say that in that last interview, I missed a little bit of it due to all these nail guns out here.
Yeah.
Did you say that a team got stranded at the hotel?
Yeah. Yeah, the Philadelphia team, they kicked them out of the hotel, and they're standing in the street. The bus didn't show up to take them to the airport or anything, and the hotel kept their gear and set all their equipment. You know, they're like personal effects, their toothbrush, and said when the owner pays the bill, you can get back in the room and get your stuff, and they're just stranded. I mean, it's a clown show. That AFL is just an absolute clown show. Sorry to say it. Wow. I hate that that's the case, but it's what it is. All right. Appreciate you. All right, that's going to do it. The Paul Feinbaum Show is next. We'll talk to you on Monday. Have a great weekend, everybody, on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
If you knew a local restaurant was featured on America's